Archangel Michael says, "Have you felt like something divine was supposed to happen by now, but didn't? Did you start to sense a door opening, a light breaking through, only to feel the stillness slam back over it like nothing was ever moving? Are you wondering why, just when things were turning, the turn stopped? Don't brush this off. Don't assume it's just life being life. This moment, right now, is a holy alarm. This message is not for everyone, but you didn't find it by accident. The fact that your eyes are here means heaven planned this visit. It means I, Michael, have been permitted to speak not to a crowd, but to you. Directly. Intimately. And I must start with this truth. Your breakthrough didn't die. It paused. It paused for a reason. It paused because there was a hidden interference. A spiritual hijack. A divine transaction was disrupted, and the cause of that disruption is buried deep inside this message. That's why I say, don't skip this. There's something in your recent memory, yes, something subtle, that wasn't random. A phone call, a name that popped into your spirit, a chill in the room for no reason. That was heaven's signal. That was the start of the unraveling. And this is the moment I explain why the unraveling began and how to restart the release. You have been on pause, but heaven is hitting play again. The reason will make your heart ache, but the revelation will restore your power. If you're still reading, then your spirit already knows what's coming next. Now breathe. We begin. Archangel Michael says, you were moving. Doors were creaking open. You could feel it in the air. Something holy was on its way. The atmosphere had changed. The old heaviness had started to lift. You felt lighter, hopeful, maybe even joyful for a moment. Then it all stopped. And you didn't understand why. Let me tell you what really happened. Heaven had dispatched something. A breakthrough, yes, but not just a blessing. It was something sacred. It was the fulfillment of prayers prayed in the silence of your soul for years. But as the angel carrying your deliverance descended, something intercepted it. Someone near you noticed the shift. Not with love, not with celebration, but with jealousy. It was subtle at first. Their energy turned cold. Their support turned shallow. They started asking strange questions. Then they did something that in the spirit looked harmless, but was devastating in the divine. They cursed what was coming. No, not with rituals or black magic. Sometimes a curse sounds like a whisper. They don't deserve that. Why them? I hope it falls apart. And in that moment, your breakthrough paused. Heaven does not destroy gifts, but it does delay them when danger draws close. Your blessing wasn't canceled. It was put behind a veil for protection. You thought God was being silent, but really the angels were forming a shield around what was meant for you. Because had it landed when it was about to, it would have been stolen, sabotaged, or twisted into something toxic. Now listen carefully, child. This pause was not your punishment. It was your preservation. You have blamed yourself for the silence. You've wondered what you did wrong. You said, maybe I missed my cue. Maybe I was too slow. Maybe I messed it up. But I, Archangel Michael, tell you the truth now. It wasn't your mistake. It was their proximity. There is someone in your life, yes, even someone who claims to care, whose spirit could not bear to see your glow rise. You didn't see it at first because you are pure in heart. You want to believe the best. But I saw the moment they closed their heart toward you. And when that moment came, I raised my sword. Not in destruction, but in defense. That's why you felt that strange fatigue. That heavy sigh in your chest. That moment of sudden doubt that made no logical sense. It was spiritual resistance. You were inches away from the door. And it slammed shut, not by God's anger, but by heaven's mercy. Don't mistake divine delay for divine denial. I slowed the process not to harm you, but to hide what was precious until your atmosphere became safe again. Let me remind you, the blessing is still alive. The breakthrough still bears your name. But first, you must remove the blockage, and I'm going to help you see it. Do you remember the conversation that didn't sit right in your spirit a few days ago? That pause in your soul when someone said something with a smile, but their energy turned your stomach? That was your clue. There is an agreement, yes, spoken or silent, that someone made regarding your life, and heaven did not approve it. It was like a contract signed in shade, not light. But your name was mentioned in it, and that mention caused a spiritual interference. I was sent to destroy that agreement, but I could not act until you were aware. And now, you are. You've seen 444 lately, or 777, or heard your name whispered in a dream. You felt like someone was standing at your door in the middle of the night, but you were too afraid to open it. That was not fear. That was me, waiting for permission to speak. And today, I speak. The reason your breakthrough paused was because your light triggered envy in someone you trusted. And now, the Holy One is exposing it, so you can move forward without interruption this time. Pause. Take this seriously. Look around your life and ask, who has been strangely silent since your hope returned? Who disappeared when you started glowing again? Who stopped celebrating when your smile came back? There's your answer. And don't be afraid of losing them. Be afraid of letting them stay and watching your promise die again. The Lord is merciful, but also just. And what was paused will soon unpause, but only if you separate what is sacred from what is secretly sour. I, Michael, stand now with my sword drawn. The moment of unlocking is coming. But heaven needs your agreement. Will you let go of the one who cursed your light in secret? Will you trust that God sees more than you do? Because, child, the moment everything paused was the same moment you started to rise. The enemy noticed. And now, so must you. Do not be afraid. The next chapter is not punishment. It is power. Now breathe. The truth has been spoken. Archangel Michael says, you didn't see it. That's not your fault. Spiritual sabotage rarely shows up with horns and red eyes. It comes wearing love. It speaks in compliments. It walks into your life like a helper, but it walks out with pieces of your destiny. There is something I must tell you now that will be hard to hear, but it is the truth. Your delay wasn't caused by demons in the air. It was caused by deception in the people around you. The interruption was personal. You were building momentum. You were praying, fasting, hoping, speaking life. You even had moments of joy that felt unexplainable, like something was about to break open. But there was someone close, someone you allowed near your spirit, who could not handle your rising. Not because they hated you, but because they envied your peace. And envy, when nurtured in silence, becomes sabotage in the spirit. Let me explain what really happened. There was a conversation. Yes, one you weren't part of, but your name was there. A decision was made about you without your knowledge. A door was spiritually touched, marked by someone who wanted to control the outcome of your life. They tried to bend the timeline. They tried to delay what they couldn't destroy. And for a while, it worked. Because you didn't know. You kept inviting them in. You kept updating them on your dreams. You kept seeking their blessing. But child, not everyone who hears your vision will celebrate. Some hear your plans and see a threat to their own stagnancy. That's where the interruption came from. Not the devil in the dark, but the whisperer in your circle. You've had strange dreams lately, haven't you? A name that keeps popping up. A voice in your sleep you can't place. A heavy silence when you try to speak about the future. That's not confusion. That's discernment trying to wake up inside you. And I, Archangel Michael, have been circling that person for weeks. Watching, waiting, guarding. They don't even know it. But every time they opened their mouth with ill intent, heaven recorded it. Every time they smiled while secretly wishing you would fail, I marked it in the scrolls of truth. Now hear me clearly. The interruption was not stronger than your breakthrough, but it had to be revealed before your breakthrough could continue. God is too holy to pour living water into poisoned vessels, and as long as that interruption stayed hidden, your atmosphere could not be cleansed. That's why you've been feeling stuck, tight, foggy. That's why things that used to flow now feel frozen. It's not your fault, but it is your responsibility to confront it now that I've exposed it. You've wondered why your joy couldn't stay, why good news came and vanished, why peace was temporary. Here is your answer: the presence of spiritual contradiction. Someone in your life says they love you, but they compete with your glow. They want you close, but not too high. They cheer for you publicly, but in private they murmur to themselves, "Why not me?" You've seen the signs. Sudden arguments for no reason. Passive insults disguised as jokes. Tension when you share good news. Avoidance when you need support. That's not random. That's spiritual interruption. Heaven is not cruel. We're not here to punish. We're here to purify the path. And I'm here now to tell you, the hidden interruption ends today. But not until you name it. Call it out. Not with malice, but with clarity. Name the moment when your heart shifted. Name the conversation that made you shrink. Name the time they didn't show up for you when it mattered most. Not for vengeance, not for bitterness, but because the truth must be spoken for healing to begin. Now I will tell you something sacred. You almost walked past this moment. You almost settled for a life delayed by someone else's silence. But heaven loves you too much for that. God told me, if they don't see the interruption, show it to them. And so I have. What comes next will feel sudden, but it has been building in the spirit for weeks. A phone call, a message, a realization. Something will be said that confirms what I'm telling you now. And you must not ignore it. You've tolerated dysfunction because you're loyal. You've allowed dishonor because you're kind. But there is a difference between forgiveness and enabling. You are not called to be a doormat for anyone's comfort. You are called to rise. The interruption ends when you say, "No more." Say it now, out loud if you must. No more spiritual delays. No more sabotaged blessings. No more fake peace. I, Archangel Michael, will honor that declaration, and I will fight again on your behalf. But child, I must ask you this. Will you listen now? Will you act now? Will you let go of the name that heaven never approved for your next chapter? This message is not just revelation. It is a rescue. And now that the interruption has been exposed, the countdown to restoration can begin. Prepare. You're about to feel the atmosphere shift again. Archangel Michael says, it has begun again. The divine countdown, the one you thought you missed, is ticking once more. This time with fire. This time with clarity. This time without interruption. The moment you recognized the sabotage, the moment you whispered, "No more," heaven responded. The divine calendar turned. The assignment was reissued. The angels were reactivated. You felt something in your chest the moment you released that name from your spirit, didn't you? That pressure, that tightness, that heavy sigh, it left. It left because the heavens took note. The spiritual hold was broken, and now the clock has restarted. But hear me closely, beloved. This is not just a second chance. It's the last chance in this current season. This window will not remain open forever. What was paused has resumed, yes, but it will not wait long. Your breakthrough has a sound to it. It has already begun echoing through the atmosphere, and the enemy has noticed. The interruptions have failed. Now they will try distraction. Don't fall for it. Don't waste this timing. The moment of momentum is fragile, like morning dew that evaporates by noon. You are not where you were yesterday. In the spirit realm, your address has changed. That's why certain people no longer reach you. That's why some calls go silent. Some relationships feel like static. Because you're no longer standing in delay. You've stepped back into divine alignment, and everything around you is being reordered to match it. The pain you felt was the spiritual contraction. But now, this is labor. You are birthing what was once buried. Listen to the rhythm of your life. Unusual things will begin to happen in threes. A familiar face will reappear with new language. A locked opportunity will suddenly resurface. A dream you forgot will feel urgent again. These are not random. These are timestamps from heaven. You've been here before, yes, but not like this. Last time, the door opened without your full awareness. This time, you know what's at stake. You've been bruised by delay. You've been baptized in patience. And now, you're ready. Let me tell you what the divine clock means. It means that the appointment with your breakthrough has been rescheduled, and this time, with divine backup. There is a name being read aloud in heaven right now. It's yours. And attached to it is a scroll. A prophecy that was paused mid-sentence is now resuming. I watched it unfold. When the interruption began, that scroll dimmed. The words were suspended in time. But when you obeyed the warning, when you released what was unholy, heaven's ink began flowing again. Your story is being written again, but not from scratch. It picks up exactly where you left off, only now, with fire on the page. This chapter will not repeat the pain of the past. This one has been sealed with clarity. The confusion is lifting. The heaviness is breaking. The waiting room is being emptied. The bell has rung. You are now in spiritual motion, and every step you take from this moment must match your new atmosphere. That means you can't speak like the old you. You can't explain yourself to people who were never meant to understand. You can't downplay your fire to protect someone else's comfort. The divine clock doesn't just count minutes, it counts movements. And every movement you make must be intentional now. Because the same angels who paused your promise to protect it are now watching to see if you walk worthy of the timing they fought for. You are no longer on borrowed breath. You are on borrowed time. And that means every yes must be divine. Every no must be firm. Every hesitation must be interrogated. I, Michael, have cleared the skies over your destiny, but I cannot force your feet to walk the path. You must move now, with urgency, with obedience, with precision. God has not just restarted your clock, He has upgraded your calling. That's why old environments now feel off. That's why familiar habits suddenly taste bitter. Because what was tolerated during delay is unacceptable during breakthrough. Let me say this. Your delay taught you how to pray. Your pause refined your discernment. But this chapter is not about survival. It's about stewardship. You're not here to beg for blessings. You're here to manage miracles. You must be ready for sudden access. A door will open without notice, and you will walk through it, not by luck, but by alignment. A name will come up in conversation, and you'll know that was the sign I promised. Don't question it. Don't delay it. Respond. The divine clock doesn't just bring opportunity. It brings accountability. Your atmosphere is no longer neutral. It's active. It's alive. It's watching. And every minute you waste second-guessing your glow is a minute your breakthrough hovers, waiting for permission. Give it permission now. Say it aloud. I am ready for motion. I am aligned with heaven's calendar. I will not pause again. I, Michael, will honor that decree, and so will heaven. Archangel Michael says, "This is the moment, the one you have been waiting for, without even realizing it. The breakthrough you thought was lost is ready to land, but it cannot happen without action. Your breakthrough is not a passive gift. It requires your participation. It requires obedience. It requires faith that moves like a roaring river. If you want your season to change, if you want the breakthrough to no longer be paused, this is what you must do. First, identify the blockage. You already know who or what it is. It's the person who smiles but envies, the voice that praises but plots, the presence that pretends to care but cuts deep in silence. Name them, not to curse, not to hate, but to release their hold on your spirit. Write their name down. Say it aloud in prayer. Ask God to reclaim every moment of your life they tried to steal or delay. I, Michael, will stand with you as you do this, because naming is the first step to breaking. Second, release the weight you carry. Pain, anger, bitterness, they are heavy chains. They bind your heart and stall your steps. But releasing doesn't mean forgetting. It means surrendering your pain to God's hands and allowing healing to begin. Take a moment right now and say this with me. I release this burden. I give it to God. I will no longer carry what was never mine to hold. Feel the spiritual shift as you say those words. That is the unlocking of your heart. Third, declare your readiness. Stand firm in faith. Tell heaven, I am ready for breakthrough. I will not pause again. I receive the fullness of my blessings now. Speak this declaration every day, morning and night. Make it your battle cry. The angels hear your voice. They respond to your faith. Fourth, prepare your environment. There is power in physical space. Clear your home of anything that feels heavy or dark. Open windows, light a candle, play music that lifts your spirit. Even small acts of preparation signal heaven that you are ready. Also, look for signs. They will come in unexpected forms: a call, a letter, a gift, a stranger's words. Be alert. Fifth, guard your mind and heart. Do not return to old habits of doubt. Do not re-engage with toxic relationships or negative talk. Protect your peace fiercely. When old fears rise, remind yourself, this season is different. I walk with Michael. I walk with God. You are not alone. Sixth, act on divine nudges. If you feel a sudden urge to call someone, write something, or visit a place, do it immediately. Do not delay. The moment you obey a divine nudge, you move closer to your breakthrough. Seventh, forgive. Not for them, but for you. Forgiveness frees your soul. It unchains your spirit from the past. Say this prayer. I forgive those who delayed my blessing. I free myself from bitterness. I choose peace. You don't have to forget the lesson, but you must release the grip of pain. Eighth, pray for protection. Ask me, Archangel Michael, and the heavenly hosts to surround you with divine armor. Say this. Michael, stand guard at my door, protect my heart, shield my breakthrough. Protection clears the path of interference. Ninth, embrace patience and expectancy together. Patience is not passive waiting. It is active trust. Expect your breakthrough every day. Speak it. See it in your mind's eye. When patience and expectancy meet, miracles form. 10th, celebrate every small victory, every moment of peace, every answered prayer, every sign from heaven. Give thanks. Gratitude activates more blessings. Child, do not underestimate the power of obedience. Every instruction I have given you is a spiritual key. Use it. Unlock your breakthrough. The enemy tried to delay your destiny, but God's timing is perfect. Now the door is open again. Step through boldly. Remember, you are not walking alone. Michael stands with sword drawn. Heaven's armies march behind you. Your breakthrough is no longer paused. It is advancing. Will you move with it? Say yes. Say it now. I am ready. Archangel Michael says, you have heard the truth. You have seen the shadow that stopped your breakthrough, and you have been given the path to freedom. This is not a time to doubt or delay. This is a time to rise. Know this. Heaven has not forgotten you. Your prayers have been recorded in the scrolls of eternity. Your name has been spoken around the throne of God. And your breakthrough is closer than you realize. The pause you experienced was never the end. It was a sacred pause, a divine protection, to keep your blessing safe until you were ready to receive it fully. Now, the door is creaking open once again. The air is shifting. Angels are moving in your atmosphere. Your next step will set the tone for everything to come. Do not walk backward. Do not hesitate. Move forward with courage and faith. Your breakthrough is not just a moment. It is a new season, a new chapter, a new covenant with God's purpose for your life. Take hold of it with boldness. Claim it with joy. Protect it with prayer. Remember, I am with you, Archangel Michael, with sword drawn, with wings wide. I am standing at your door, ready to fight for your destiny. You are chosen. You are powerful. You are not alone. Type 7 in your heart right now to declare your breakthrough is coming. Do not skip this. This message is your turning point. The time is now. Walk through that door. I will meet you on the other side.